We all know Star Citizen. It is one of the most infamous games probably ever made. If you don't know, it is the largest crowdfunded game in history, largest crowdfunding project ever. I'm pretty sure it's raised over $800 million. I just upgraded my PC, so I'm actually going to try this game. And I was going into this with this video in mind to just absolutely dog on this game. But I hate to say it, I love Star Citizen. I don't think I have ever been this immersed into a game before. Everything in this game is everything I have ever wanted out of a space game. And of course it has to be the one with the most controversies I have ever seen come out of any game. Star Citizen was supposed to release in 2014. There is absolutely no way. They have blown past every single projected release date. You could originally pledge to this game in 2013, 12 years ago. Nowadays, we're getting Squadron 42, which is like this single player campaign along with Star Citizen, but we don't really know what all of it's gonna add up to. So I went and played it for the first time, just wanted to check out what you could do, because a lot of people call this game a scam. And I don't know if I want to go that far, because typically a scam involves, you get nothing. You can buy like this game and you get like a starter ship, and it's like $45, I think is the minimum. And you can actually just play this game. You can earn the money to buy ships in game. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a scam, but I did run into some shady practices, stuff that you might see in like GTA Online. I have always dreamt of a space game that I could just go and live in the world, and that is exactly what Star Citizen gives to me. Now, we've had plenty of space games over the past few years. Elite Dangerous, I like it. I liked the Odyssey thing, but Elite Dangerous is so serious. You have to really delve in. It's such a hardcore experience. The combat is way more difficult than I'm wanting for just a casual hop-in experience. And then they had the bright idea of whenever they finally added ground to space and FPS stuff, they just made the ground combat the same as the ship combat. You still had to, it was the same premise, shields and all that. The shooting was not fun at all. I did not enjoy Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Whenever it got announced, I thought it was going to solve all my problems. I thought I can get away from Star Citizen, Odyssey can be my thing, but I was not impressed at all. And then I like No Man's Sky. I want to give props to Hello Games. They have stuck with that game longer than I thought they ever would. I thought they would just ditch it, but they have stuck with it, and they have turned it into a really fun, casual space game. But I'm looking for more of a realistic experience, or at least one with a more focus on FPS combat and just combat in general, whereas No Man's Sky is just more about the exploration parts of space. It's not trying to be anything it's not. You just are supposed to explore and live in this world, and I love that for them, but that game is just not for me in terms of what I'm looking for out of my perfect space game. And then about 2 years ago we had Starfield, and I did like Starfield. It had more elements than Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky had for me, but the connective tissue just wasn't there. I really did enjoy the story and the gameplay was fun, but whenever it came down to the actual space, I never felt like I was actually in space. Every time you would get in your ship, you'd just hit a loading screen and then you just pop out in space. I never got that visceral feeling of actually flying down to the planet. The only time I really got that was whenever you're fully in space and you can like shoot enemies and then board them, and you feel the connection there because it actually makes sense. Whereas the ground to space, it always felt like two disconnected games. I had always seen Star Citizen kind of looming around, but I had heard so many horror stories about this game just purely from the development standpoint, because, everybody's heard this game has been in development for so long, 13 years, and probably even longer, and it is still probably nowhere close to being done. I'm having a lot of fun on it, and I feel bad for that, because I came into this wanting to shit on this product because it feels like it's just ripping money out of the pockets of the people who want it. And after playing it, I can see why. A lot of the time, you're just doing things. I wouldn't say I necessarily have like a standout moment, but it's just the whole experience of playing Star Citizen that really encapsulated what I wanted out of a space game. Had a bounty, he was hiding on an asteroid. So I flew my ship in, I parked it on an asteroid just to hide it from all these other fighters that were going around. And then I got out, I spacewalked and snuck into this asteroid base, got in, fought through the corridors, and then finally got him. That's like all I've ever wanted out of a space game, because all of it was seamless. From leaving the space station, accepting the contract, parking my ship in the asteroid, then getting out and floating in. It was all my choice. There was no loading screens, there was no barriers, there was nobody saying I couldn't do that. It was something I chose to do, and it worked out. And that's all I have ever wanted out of a space game, is the freedom to do that. Because like in Elite Dangerous, you can't just get out of your ship whenever you want. There's not even walkable interiors in Elite Dangerous. And that's not to hate on that game. That's just not what that game's going for. And it's not what I'm looking for whenever I want to play a space game. And this game leans all in on the immersion aspect. Like, you can just walk around your ship, you can touch doors, you can open them, you can lay in your bed, you can go in the bathroom if you want to. And just like, I mean, look at this. Is this not like the most beautiful game you have ever seen? Like, those clouds, they're real clouds. They're not textures. They are actually volumetric clouds that have a weather system, and they go around the planet. The technology is cool. You can see where the money's going, but at what point is it enough? So that's really when the experience starts to fall apart, is whenever you notice just how much money is potentially being wasted, and when developers should just say enough. Because right now, just playing the game, I think it could use a little more actual content, but other than that, the game works fine. You know, it just needs more systems. It's a little bit more polished, because I think a lot of the big problems people have with playing Star Citizen right now is it is unbearable to play at certain points. You get into cities, and sometimes it doesn't even feel like if you have like the best rig on the planet. This game is going to stutter for you, and is going to stutter hard. And there's just a few systems in the game that I just question why they put them there. And while you can earn ships in game, they do have server wipes every now and then that completely resets your progress. And part of me feels like that is just them trying to inch you towards buying a ship, because you can buy some of these ships for real world money. Like, some of them are over $1,000. That is insane. The draw here is that whenever these server wipes happen, you just have the ship. You don't have to worry about getting it again, because you can earn this thing in game. But one, it's going to take you hours, and then two, if you don't play for a while, there's probably going to be a server wipe, and then guess what? It's gone. It feels like a lot of the times they're just inching people into, hey, why don't you just buy this one instead? You know, you don't have to work for it. And it almost feels like GTA Online in a way, where it's like, yeah, you can earn all this stuff, but it doesn't really feel obtainable because they want you to spend money. And that leads me into why I don't think Star Citizen will ever actually release. I'm not a believer that this game is ever going to hit a 1.0 phase, because they're simply making too much money in the alpha phase alone. They're making more money than a lot of games that are ever released are ever making. Like, you can go on their website, and who knows if they're actually being factual, but I would assume if they're going to lie about the money they're making, they're going to do it on the low end. Some of these months, they are making $20 million, all from crowdfunding, from people buying ships or people just donating to this game that they want to see finished. They do have the single player campaign I talked about earlier, Squadron 42. A lot of people who play tested it said it was feature complete nearly 10 years ago. That is insane that it has been 10 years and we still don't have a release date. I think the latest they've said is maybe 2026, maybe, but they've also lied about that before. They said Star Citizen was going to be in beta in 2020. It's 2025 and it's still alpha, and it's not showing any signs that it is ever going to be in beta. And I just don't ever see a reality where this game actually releases. Here recently, they've had this controversy with this thing called Blades, which by now they might have rolled back. I surely hope they would. They were like these AI companions that would just automate the tasks for you. It was almost a pay-to-win system, because then, like, why would you do this whenever you can just have the computer do it? And they weren't even obtainable in the actual game before you could buy this. So it was quite literally just a product that made it easier. You couldn't earn it in game, and the only way to get it was to spend real money. It's an absolutely insane choice, and it just feels like they're trying to push the envelope further and further each time to see what they can get away with, rather than making a good product for people to play with. At the end of the day, when this game works, it is one of the most fun games out there. There is no other game that offers opportunities like these, and it's sad to see it wasted on such a over monetized product that could be such a tremendous game if they just ignored their cravings for money, which I know is hard to say, because I feel like if a lot of us were in this position where we could just keep making this dream game and people paid us for that, I think a lot of us would make that. But there's also a time where we just need to say enough is enough. FPS combat wasn't even going to be a part of this game originally, and I'm glad they added it because it's my favorite component of the game. But what needs to go beyond that? When is it enough? I do love this game. Anytime I play it, I can't help but have fun. It fits and scratches all the itches of a space sim that I am wanting, but I just cannot shake the feeling that I am just giving in to corporate greed. There is no way anybody should be spending $10,000 on this game, but you can. And that blows my mind. Like the most I would ever consider spending on a game is like $100, and that is a big maybe. For all of its faults, you can't help but just be impressed. I really hope that they just nailed down what they actually want to do with this game, and I hope that my thinkings that they're just here to get more money is wrong, and they're actually doing this out of a passion, because what you can see here is very clear passion, and I hope that doesn't get overwhelmed by greed, because this game at the end of the day is just really beautiful and it's really fun, and they push the envelope further on technology and all this, and I really do hope the best for this game, because if this game does ever come out in a 1.0 release, we're all in for a pretty big treat. But anyways, I'm just gonna keep playing this game even though I hate it. So that's the video.